This is from Aviation Week Network. Okay, so they got the scoop. While all of us are spinning around in circles being like, UFOs, what's going on? Joe Biden's freaking out. They're just deploying F22s. They're shooting down unidentified flying objects. And here's my favorite part. The pilot said it had no observable propulsion system because balloons don't. I said that. I swear. You watch my segment. I said, when they say there's no propulsion system, it could be because it's a balloon. Like, there's not going to be a jet on a balloon or anything like that. So they see this big object and they're like, I wonder how it's flying. And they shoot it down. So here's the story. Hobby Club's missing balloon feared shot down. I'll give you the gist of it. The general idea is the Northern Illinois Bottle Cap Balloon Brigade, NIB, is not pointing fingers yet, but the circumstantial evidence is at least intriguing. The club's silver-coated party-style Pico balloon reported its last position on February 10th at 38,910 feet, off the west coast of Alaska, and a popular forecasting tool, the HIS-split model provided by NOAA, projected the cylindrically shaped object would be floating high over the central part of the Yukon Territory on February 11th. That's the same day a Lockheed Martin F22 shot down an unidentified object of a similar description and altitude in the same general area. Okay, I'm sorry, China's laughing at us right now.
Yeah, I think it's cool, though, that there's hobby balloon clubs. This balloon apparently was on its 7th trip around the world. So that's kind of cool for the balloon. It's a shame that it's not there. It is absurd, though, that we used our perhaps we used our highest Air Force tools to shoot down a balloon.
Well, I mean, look, everybody was ragging on Biden over the Chinese balloon, so they started panicking. Mm-hmm. Now, then they started saying, we think these objects could be anything from like used car balloons or whatever. And it's just like, oh, man.
Biden also said today at a press conference, he said that he has no regrets about shooting down the balloons.
Of course he doesn't. Spending $400,000 on a missile to shoot down a hobby balloon doesn't make any sense.
Is that how much the missiles cost?
I think that's what I read is whatever Sidewinder,
$500,000 because they panicked over this balloon. Three
of them. Three
balloons.
Yeah.
We are silly people.
Well, how big are these balloons? Like that doesn't look like that big of a balloon.
No, that's a plastic bag. They said it's like three cars or something like that.
That's like a Pico balloon. That's what that is. That's a Pico balloon.
That's actually it?
That's a Pico balloon. Yeah, the first thing was the 3 school buses.
Yeah, the way they
they didn't shoot down right away.
Right.
The actual
This is the threat
Chinese
right here. I want
balloon.
you to look at this this dastardly group. Look at this woman. This girl's wearing a suit. That's how you know they're dangerous.
This is like the scene, but it would be in a comedy. Like it would be a scene in a comedy movie where it shows like the dejected hobbyists after they get shot down and they're all like real sad about it.
I'm picturing like those guys in the X-Files, you know, the 3 guys, the researchers.
Oh, what was it? The lone gunman.
Yeah. I'm imagining those guys.
Yeah, that kind of like disappointment. Yeah, exactly.
The lone gunman. That's
so what?
clever.
Now do our tax dollars have to pay these? Well, we probably should pay them back for their balloon. I mean,
So what? It's going to cost us $500,000, $501,000 now. This blunder by Joe Biden.
Maybe Biden should cover the cost.
What I want to know is there was the other one where the pilot actually missed on the first shot.
That's right.
So
it's
that
$1
was
million.
That was $1 million shot. Was that the same type of balloon though? Was that a real balloon?
Yo, could you just imagine they're seeing this silver cylinder and it's just a balloon and they're like, ah, and when the missile misses, miss, and they're like taking it very seriously. Yo, we are silly people.
Now, do you think this could be a military exercise though too? Like I would have thought, like if we were going to do this type of stuff, they would have at least come out and tell us that, like, you know, maybe we're preparing for China to send an EMP or something over, but then, you know, it would cause issues so it went with this alien theme. But I could see them trying to lie because usually the lie is better than the truth.
They were doing something over DC the other day. I guess everybody was freaking out about that.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember like back in like 2014 or something when the 82nd jumped into Texas and everybody thought that the federal government was invading Texas.
Oh,
it's kind of the same type of stuff.
There was this thing that happened a few years ago where a bunch of people started posting photos of military vehicles and videos of trains transporting tanks. And they all started saying like, whoa, what's happening? Everybody was in on it. And then journalists started seeing all these videos and thinking something was really happening, started actually writing up stories about this. And
And it was nothing.
They're going to they're going to JRTC or something for military.
Well, no, it was like
training.
people took random images. So they take a random image of a field with a guy standing, and they'd be like, "Whoa, new image out of this city or whatever." And like, "Whoa, now we're hearing that the police are showing up," and it puts a picture of a squad car, and then someone would be like, "The military's being brought in," and you see helicopters, and they're all just different random videos from different time periods, but people were claiming were from.
Oh my goodness! You know what that's like? That's like that Evelyn Waugh novel, Scoop, where all the journalists get sent to the war zone, and the main character gets there, and there's no war. There's just no war at all.
Well, this is like all the deepfake stuff that's happening too.
Yeah, or in Wag the Dog, when they're like, "Oh, we're going to have a war with Albania to cover up that the president slept with a Firefly girl."
I was, look, the other day, I was pretty scared about the AI stuff, and I'm like, oh man. And then just before this show, I saw one of the best AI deepfakes I've ever seen. And now I'm really excited because it was Donald Trump and Joe Biden playing Overwatch together.
Oh my goodness.
Is that available? I want to watch that.
Yeah, it's on Political Compass memes on Instagram. I should pull it up. I don't know if I can pull it up because let me see if I can get it. And there's a lot of swearing in it, so just, but it's too good. It was too good. There's a lot of swearing in it, so let me see if I can get it.
We were talking about this at a meeting earlier.
There it is. All right. You cover your kids' ears because we're playing this one. I was playing Overwatch. I like Overwatch, so. Hold on, we got to fix the audio. Yo, this is awesome. I love deepfake now.
I love this map. Takes me back.
Is that you again, Joe, on my fucking team?
It's this guy.
Oh, GG, we lost. This is my rank up game, too.
We are not even out of spawn doors, and this guy is already complaining.
Someone dodge, please.
Fucking insta-lock Zen again, and you're going to feed again.
How many accounts do I have to keep fucking avoiding
you? You are not beating the hard-stuck Masters allegations, Don.
That is so cap, Joe. I was having a really good day today.
Don't care.
Went golfing, hit a few holes in one. Wanted to solo queue some Overwatch to end the day, and I see fucking Bidenator in my lobby.
Bidenator.
Can't wait until Blizzard fix matchmaking. Jesus fucking.
Yo, that was the best.
That's the reality we need.
I saw that right as we were getting ready to do the show. When did they post this? They posted it an hour ago.
It's like Kang and Konos, from The Simpsons.
I mean, this is one way political.
Swirling toward.
I was golfing. I wanted to end the day with some quick cues and Overwatch, and then I see Bidenator in my chat.
We were saying today at a meeting earlier, our development meeting, one of the devs, Tony, was saying what we really need is to see a deep fake that's terrifying, that where everyone basically realizes the horror that this could wreak on us. Just something that where everyone, but not that we need to do that to people, but I think in order for us to realize how dangerous this technology.
So you're saying
what would be the most horrifying deepfake?
Well, so War of the Worlds kind of freaked people out.
No.
That Orson Welles thing, people thought we were really being invaded by aliens.
For sure.
I disagree. The typical mistake people make with PR campaigns and things like this is that they think shock content, alien invasion, World War III. People won't believe it. It's too out of the ordinary. It's got to be something very simple, like Joe Biden giving a speech and saying something like, it's got to be, in order to get people to understand it's scary and actually get them to believe it, it's got to be something about maybe a banking crisis.
Or like a city's been wiped off the map or
no
something.
one will believe that.
Nuclear strike.
No one will believe it.
No.
What about
people are going to be like, what? And they're going to try and look it up. But if it's a video of Joe Biden saying something like, we're growing deeply concerned with the rising inflation rates, which are now expected to reach 11% by the next month. But the Federal Reserve has given us their word. They will lower the rates and try and get these inflation rates down. People will then start freaking out. If Biden says something like, we are worried, but please remain calm, that the cost of basic goods could reach upwards of $10 to $20 for things like a gallon of milk. That's the kind of thing that people would see and be like, it would freak out the average middle class person, be believable enough to where they go, wait a minute, that was fake, holy crap.
I know that would definitely wreck it could potentially wreck the economy for a day. Like people will sell stocks, could destroy the stock market. But
right,
to really scare people, I don't know if that would really scare
I think
people.
I think the scariest stuff is actually the revenge porn stuff that's happening, the deepfake porn that's putting people's bodies into these films that they didn't consent to.
Oh, like a porn of Joe Biden then.
That would be really scary.
I disagree. Look, like that stuff exists. You know it's not you and it's not real. I don't know. I can understand it's shocking to people to have that happen to them for sure, but
I see what you're saying about it being something super normal, like something that could definitely be real and is in fact not real.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so it's like imagine if you imagine that, like the the information that's been coming out over the past year when things like bacon and milk have gone up and eggs have gone up and all of that, and it sort of gets ignored by a lot of the press. But something like that, those things really do have an impact on people. That would be interesting. Or what if what if Biden makes the announcement that we're definitely going to be sending troops into Ukraine?
Yes. I was going to say,
and
it's believable, but terrifying.
It's very believable. And then you'd have everybody being like, it was only in, March when Biden said there'll be no troops on the ground. He said that very definitively. He also said there'd be no tanks. He also said there'd be no fighter jets. What's next? And that would set off an international firestorm.
If there was a video where it's Biden giving a speech and he said something like, Russian artillery has struck the border of Poland, triggering Article 5.
Right.
As the president of the United States, am left with no choice but to deploy U.S. forces to assist our partners in NATO in the war effort against Russia. Make no mistake.
By the time
to the American
White
people,
House
we
said
are
anything.
at war.
Yeah. That'd
World
be
War
terrifying.
III has begun.
You can't go too much. Like if he said Russia nuked a city or something, people would be like,
They just check it. They just.
Well,
But if
people
he's saying
did
something,
freak out. Oh, go ahead.
we already know that there was the reporting that a missile hit Poland,
Right.
And everyone freaked out. Turns out it was Ukrainian artillery that misfired or whatever,
Right.
or crashed. So that's the mid-range level where people will start panicking. The economy will get disrupted to a certain degree, and then they'll have to come out. And the White House would have to issue a statement saying it's not true. But even then, you're going to have people being like, "I've got 2 videos. Which one's real?" That's the
and
scary
you just
thing.
wouldn't know.
Yep.
And then the impact on international leaders.
Yeah, I mean, at that same point in time, it would come out, and Putin might be like, "Oh, now I'm going to preemptively strike."
Yeah, I know that.
Send a nuke preemptively, and you're right. It does play into that is probably the scariest scenario that you could have because it is believable, and it plays into your.
It has to be on the border of unbelievable,
Yeah.
where it's terrifying and may be true.
Like a meteor coming towards Earth or something.
That's completely unbelievable. Nobody would believe it.
If it was coming out of Biden's mouth, you don't think half the country would.
Plus,
just buy it?
NASA already did their thing where they
like it
blow
was.
up asteroids. Did you see
Right.
that?
If Biden, if there's a video of Biden saying a meteor is coming and it's going to destroy the Earth or slam into a city and wipe it out, people are going to go, What is this? And they're going to go to Google right away and say it's fake.
And it's going to say, "Don't look up."
But if it's a video of Biden saying something like a Russian artillery strike, we believe has struck Polish territory, triggering Article 5. Poland has requested that the U.S. deploy assets immediately to the area for defense. People are going to see that and go, dude. They're going to share it with their friends. And they're going to be like, look at this video, because it's believable.
And then the Russian cabinet will be sharing it amongst themselves. And that's where it becomes really scary is does the opposing party also believe it and could that trigger a war, which I don't want that to happen.
Does
the Russian military say, President Putin, this deep fake is going around claiming that, Russian artillery hit and that the U.S. is going to be deploying troops. I say we pretend we think it's real and deploy troops and use this as a casus belli.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Trying to figure out.
Fun, huh?
Everybody, when that
sorry. Someone can make a video of Vladimir Putin playing Overwatch with Biden next.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely Kang and Konos.
We were trying to figure out how to prevent this deepfake confusion earlier. And another one of the developers, Alex, was like, you need to watermark your videos when they go up from now on. Like the future is kind of like locking your door at night. You can't expect the government to lock your door for you. You can't expect other people to know if your video is real or not, or if it's a deepfake of you. So you've got to somehow prove it. But then I'm like, what about fair use? Like, how did they prove that it's?
Well, some developers will use like certain stuff. I was reading an article before where it's in like movies and documentaries where they did like the whole documentary, and whenever it was like the AI generated, they would put like a halo around the person that they were AI generating. So the audience subtly knew. But then the conversation was, do we then, that pulls you out of this immersive experience that you're going to do. So what's the trade-off of having, in a movie or something like that where you're deep faking? There's a trade-off there somewhere.
Someone super chatted that because reasons that deepfakes won't exist in 5 years, you'll just be able, it's going so quickly, you'll be able to make any kind of content you want. But that's literally deepfakes, dude. If you're saying like you can just tell it to make whatever you want. We already talked about this a couple weeks ago. There's an ad I saw on Twitter for an AI video generating service, meaning it's an editing software and you'll type in slow pan in forest at night, and then it renders and then gives you a video showing trees and the camera's panning through a forest. It's crazy.
It's like when GPT was writing stories.
But video,
which is even
now imagine
sicker.
Once it can do people and voices all in one, and you just type in, give me a video of a superhero fighting a supervillain in a city, and then it renders it and gives you a 30-second clip. You could then be like, make a video of Joe Biden declaring war on Russia, and it would be indistinguishable from the real world.
Well, and then when you combine that with VR, suddenly no one has to exist in reality ever again.
I was gonna say, will we ever have
Why?
movies or
Yeah.
anything like that
Why
again?
would we?
Because you can generate movies just digitally.
Yes, but what I think it'll be like is there will be user-generated movies, and people are going to say, oh, dude, did you see that new movie from Ian? It's really good. Go up to his profile. He's got a Patreon. He makes movies. And you'll literally you write out the treatment for a script, AI generate it, go in and fine-tune some of the points in the movie that you think aren't that good. About a week's worth of work, and you've got a full-length Marvel movie.
There could be humans that, with a neural net, go into a hyperbaric chamber, and all they do is think about movies that are constantly being AI created for the public, and all they're just like in a cocoon where they're just generating thought.
The precogs.
Wow.
They'll strap themselves in and predict the future for us. Whoa. Yeah, what were we talking about? We were talking
I
about
don't
Joe
know.
Biden shooting
Blowing
down
up kids' balloons.
I'm now
Well, I think it
imagining
might
this
be-
other thing.
I
I
feel like
think
the
that
balloons-
should be the first AI generated film. Should be the
Like a
people.
kid's balloon goes up
no,
in the
no,
sky
no.
and
The
flies
first
like,
one
"Get it."
should be the people who are creating the AI generated films. It should be like super meta.
Oh, like a movie about how they became the ones that created
Yeah,
the
yeah,
movie, and then
yeah.
at the end you find out they created the movie that you're watching about
Yeah.
them creating the movie.
Yeah,
that'd
like
be good.
that.
I think
Like
the balloons
Inception.
is a distraction. I got this up because I still haven't heard Biden mention East Palestine. Have you guys heard him mention it yet?
No, but FEMA denied claims for emergency relief because people's homes weren't destroyed by the toxic chemicals.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.